I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning from Life in UK test part 403. Politicians and other leaders, that's on page 169. While doing a leg injury prevention training, and if you participate in the leg injury prevention training, that's what you're always. So the first one is Oliver Cromwell. He was the leader in the civil war between the Parliamentarian and the Cavaliers, and Charles I's army. The Cavaliers and he, the Parliamentary. He defeated also the rebellion in Northern Ireland, and with a brutality that still he's a controversial figure there. He became then the Lord Protector, and he reigned for, I don't know, 15 years or so. But I wanted to make one thing. How did it came that he happened to be the leader? I think he was just a general, they said. For a time it was not totally clear how the country could be governed after 1649 when Charles I had been executed. For now the army was in control. One of its generals, Oliver Cromwell, was sent to Ireland where the revolt which had begun in 41 still continued and where there was still a royalist army. Cromwell was successful in establishing the authority of the English Parliament, but did it with such violence that even today Cromwell remains a controversial figure in Ireland. The Scots had not agreed to the execution of Charles. Okay, something else. After his campaign in Ireland and victory over Charles II at Worcester, Cromwell was recognized as the leader of a new republic. He was given the title of Lord Protector and ruled until his death in 1658. So for around from 49 until 85, 2058, for 9 years. For around a decade. Okay. And then we're having Richard Cromwell. He was the son of Oliver Cromwell. He reigned for a couple of years, but people were not so happy with that, and they invited Charles II. When Cromwell died, his son Richard became Lord Protector in his place, but was not able to control the army or the government. He was not able to control army or government. Although Britain had been a republic for 11 years without Oliver Cromwell, there was no clear leader or system of government. So, he was not able to control the government or the army. There was no clear leader or a system of government. Richard Cromwell, the son of Oliver Cromwell, was the Lord Protector, but he was not able to control the army or government, and England had no clear leader or a clear system of government. The people wanted stability, and they talked about having a king again, and they invited Charles II back in. Then we're having Charles Edward Stuart, or Bonnie Prince Charlie. That was the one which the Scots wanted back on the throne because they wanted a Stuart again on the throne instead of George II. So there was not Charles II because they didn't want Richard Cromwell so much. So Charles II, and after Charles II, his brother James II, and after James II, there might have come a No. They didn't want George II. After Charles II, George was after Queen Anne, and Queen Anne was after William and Mary. So where was then James? So when was Charles? When was now Bonnie Prince Charlie instead of James? They wanted James II. (1745). So it was Queen Anne. Yes, okay. It was first the Glorious Revolution, when William and Mary together, then Queen Anne, and then after Queen Anne, George I. And then, instead of George II, they wanted Bonnie Prince Charlie, the grandson of James II. So after the Glorious Revolution was that whole thing with Bonnie Prince Charlie. Some people wanted him back, for example in Scotland, and there was a battle, but George II's army won at the Battle of Culloden, 1746, so almost 100 years later after the Charles VII battle, or Charles I battle. Marston Moor says it was 1646. 1646 was Battle of Marston Moor, and 1746 was Battle of Culloden. That was Bonnie Prince Charlie. No, but George II became then, and after George II, I don't know if you were told that. There was nothing anywhere written. George II, let's say until 1780, so we were lacking around 80 years of monarchs, but then Victoria, so nothing written here anymore. Okay, Bonnie Prince Charlie and the clansmen then lost what we had at power. It began the process of Highland clearance, and many Scottish landlords destroyed individual small farms known as crofts, known as crofts, and it were created large flocks of sheep and cattle spaces. Now, we are not going to do anything new. Now to something else. We were talking about the suffragettes, and I didn't know how to pronounce it because it is a French word. I said it, or the word comes from French. And I came across the trailer Invincible for the movie Invincible from 2015, directed by Angelina Jolie. And in that trailer, I don't know the trailer in English, is in one place said, "Au moment des souffrances, per vie de glory," which must mean, I don't have it in English, one moment of suffering for a lifetime of glory, for a lifetime of glory. Au moment des souffrances, per vie de glory. And then I noticed also another line at the beginning of Indila's The New Dawns, which means last dines, starts with ma douce souffrance, which must mean, oh my sweet suffering. So if I'm right about these two things, then it must mean something like suffer, and it would also fit. Souffrance means suffer. So suffragette, if it comes from a French word souffrance, then it would mean something like suffer. So the suffragettes, they were fighting for the same right as men had to vote in the United Kingdom. So suffragettes must probably come from the word souffrance, and that must mean something to suffer. Now we're going to do the leg injury prevention training, and if you participate in the leg injury prevention training, that's the outlook. We are bringing one leg up, we are pointing the foot, and we bring the foot up and down, up and down. We're not going to do anything new. If you're just here for more people, then you can go directly to the next part. We bring the foot down and up, down, up and down. And now the legs are standing wide apart, and we're breathing in. And out. Again in. And out. Again in. And out. And again in. And out. Breathe in across the legs. And out. And now a good standing leg. The other leg, flex foot in the air. And we're swinging it to the side, front, to the side. The foot is flexed and the toes are pointing more or less the whole time in front. A few times more. And now we're switching the leg. So flexed foot in the air. I'm just swinging it to the side and in front, and we're having more or less the whole time the toes pointing forward. And the next exercise, again a good standing leg, the other leg in the air with the flexed foot again, and we bring the foot in front and back. And with the other foot in front and back. Front and back. And the next exercise, one leg up, breathe in, out the leg to the side, breathe again in, out the leg back and out. Now the same breathing, so the leg comes up into a right angle, flex foot, even line hips, taller with the back, the leg to the side. These are too many distractions. We're breathing in, out the leg back and down. So breathe in, the leg up into a right angle with a flexed foot with even line hips and taller with the back. Breathe out the leg to the side, and breathe in, and out the leg into the middle, and control jump. Again in, the leg up, breathe in. Out, the leg to the side. Again in. And out. And up. Now the leg up, riding with the leg, same. And we're pressing from the inside with moderate force. So riding with the leg, flexed foot, even line hips, top of the back, and a little bend in the elbow. And we're changing the other leg up, same setup, and we're pressing from the inside, against the inside. Even the line hips, taller of the back, little bend in the elbow. And the next exercise, one leg up, same setup, and now the knee presses up to the side, up to the side. Even the line hips, taller of the back, and the knee presses up to the side. Now with the other leg, the leg up, same setup, and the knee presses up to the side. A few more times. And the next exercise, just the next one. One leg points with the foot to the outside, the other leg is with the heel on the ground, and with the heel off the ground, and placing it again on the ground and don't do too many. The UK landmarks? Probably, no, well, not so easy. So there is the Elizabeth Tower in London. The clock and sometimes also, no, the bell, and sometimes also the clock is named the Big Ben. Many people, but I think saying to the whole thing Big Ben. It's the Elizabeth Tower. It's next to the House of Parliament. And when there is the London Eye, also in London, where there's a big Ferris wheel, it was done for the Millennium Celebration, and it was an important part by the Diamond Jubilee of Elizabeth II, 2012, and it's an important part of the New Year's celebration. We have changed the flag every year, at New Year, or New Year's Eve. And why not come through? And there's the Eden Project, the Lord Lomond, and the Lake District, and the Tower of London, and one or two more. But not now, we're going to go to the next exercise, and you can do the stamp, leg up and down with the flexed foot. You can do the horse, and let fall, little fall, and you have the flexed foot, and you just bring it back. Or we're going to do today actually the camel. You have the leg in with the flexed foot, you go back and stretch it out. In, stretch it. Actually, maybe point the foot when it's in front, it's easy. Maybe if I do it like that, you'll call it different. And let's say two more. And then with the other leg. And a few more. Let's say three more. And our closing exercise, exercising way up. You're breathing in. And up. Again in. And out. Again in. And out. Last round. Again in. Out. Lots of feet. That was the leg injury prevention training. I thank you very much, and until next time.